Okay, so let's go through this spread. Right, so first of all, we do have the Two of Coins here in the reverse position. So a lot of you, there might have been financial issues. I don't feel that it's detrimental, but I definitely feel some financial considerations or some decision based on financial consideration was made very, very recently. This is also a card about travel as well, because we do have that water in the back, as well as in the traditional Rider-Waite, there is like ships in the background. So I feel like there's some type of a juggling act. And there's some type of decision that was made based on financial considerations, okay? Which brings you to the present moment, which is the Knight of Swords. So this is your energy, male or female. This is an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. And I feel like in this reading, in this spread, this is you coming in. And I feel that for a lot of you, you are excited about something, or you are taking a very, very strong stance about something. You are voicing your opinion, and you are charging ahead based on a gut instinct, okay? It's based on your heart's desire, I feel. For a lot of you, like I said, I feel like your heart chakra opening up. And I feel almost as if you are reacting to some type of emotional situation around you. And I feel like it's not all negative. So I wouldn't say that. I feel that you are reacting in a proper manner, all right? A lot of you might be dealing with an air sign, so another Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. And somebody's coming towards you with messages, with a lot of communication. And I do sense that this is somebody you have a very, very, very strong attraction to, okay? With the Devil crossing this energy, you want to be a little bit careful and not jump the gun and not react too quickly, okay? So be very, very careful about this energy. The Devil is usually, you know, situation, circumstances that we feel where there's only one way forward. We also feel like we're at the whims, under the control of somebody else, and we feel as if we're not free to act in the way that we want. This is also a card about vices in life, okay? So alcohol, drinking, smoking, recreational drugs, experimentation, things that we know are, you know, they make us feel good, but at the same time, we know that they're not good for us, and we still charge ahead anyway. So you want to be very careful about this. Going back to the health situation, just be very, very careful. Please be very careful. You had a lot of cards that jumped out when I was shuffling, and with the Devil crossing you, it means that you're headed towards something, okay? And the crowning energy is the Emperor. The Emperor is showing up, meaning that you're not being blocked from it. You're not being blocked, or you're not being protected from these things. So you want to be very careful about which direction you're headed, and, you know, be very clear about what you're getting yourself into, okay? So when the Emperor shows up in the upright position, it indicates to me divine protection as well. And it indicates to me that a lot of you might be dealing with an authority figure, somebody in your life that you trust and you feel like they can do no wrong. When it's in the reverse position, you want to be careful, because first of all, that sense of divine protection that, you know, usually Geminis, you are very, very well protected. For the past few months too, when I read the cards, I feel like there's somebody watching over you. And I feel like you're getting insights from that same external figure watching over you. But I do sense that in this situation, there is something that you're very, very emotionally invested in, and you're not making the right choice, okay? So just be very careful about what it is that you're going forward with, and just be careful about your health, okay? In the foundation, we have the Eight of Cups, and this is a card about movement, travel, possibly flying from one region to the next. And I feel like for a lot of you, there might have been, you know, situations where you might have had two job offers, and you've decided about, you know, you've decided on which job that you want to move forward with. So then a lot of you are moving, and I also feel it coming out with the Eight of Coins. The financial situation is really going to stabilize. It is going to be very phenomenal. So you're getting, you know, you're landing a very lucrative job assignment. You're getting paid adequately. And I do feel that For those of you who have recently started a new job, you have a very difficult to please authority figure in your work environment. And they might, I feel like first impression, you already know that they're difficult, but you don't really care because you feel like, you know, it's a job, it pays the bills, but also the job seems to be very lucrative. So I sense that, you know, you're possibly being headhunted by them and they're giving you an offer, you know, from the get-go, and you're moving. A lot of you might be relocating, might be just shifting from one old job to the next. But I feel there was some type of a unemployment gap in between one job, the old job and the new job. But the new job looks to me to be very, very favorable. And if anything, I do sense that there is an authority figure in your midst that might be a little bit difficult to deal with, but I do sense it's going to be very favorable. Okay, the job itself, at least, is going to be very favorable. Now, in terms of the advice, we do have the moon in the reverse position. The moon, I usually read it as your intuition. Okay, I feel like for a lot of you, there is a head and a heart choice. And I feel like a lot of you are emotionally invested in something, emotionally just really adamant about pursuing something or pursuing someone. And I feel like if it's a job situation, somebody is giving you warning signals like, you know, that boss, he doesn't seem like all that great to me, or he or she doesn't seem all that legitimate. Or if it's a person, people around you might tell you this is not the right person for you because what's crossing you is the devil. This is like walking into a trap. This is also a card about being very, very fascinated by somebody, and we are kind of like swept off our feet. And it happened so fast. It just happened so fast. You didn't even have time to react. So the intuition is it's a little bit off, and it's telling you to take this very, very slowly and to think about things, okay? To plan for a practical course of action before you engage or before you react in any way, okay? So I feel like a lot of you are just swept up in the whirlwind of it, okay? It's exciting, but you want to be very careful about where you're headed. And I feel like what's coming through is that in your external environment, we have the Fool card in the reverse position. The Fool card in the reverse, in your external environment, indicates to me you are potentially dealing with someone who is quite restless, who is quite careless as well. So please be very careful. I feel you're okay because you're showing up in the upright position, but I feel like around you, there might be some type of temptation. I feel almost like people not being authentic, but also like they say one thing and then they do another. So it's somebody who might potentially be hypocritical, and if you were to call them out on it, they take a more defensive stance, okay? So they take a more defensive stance. If you tell them, oh, you told me one thing, and then, you know, you start doing another. So your words and your actions don't line up. There we go. The words and their actions don't line up. And I feel like if you're ever confronting them about it, because they're in a high status, high power position, they feel like they don't have to explain themselves to anybody. So you're dealing with somebody who is tyrannical, but also just a little bit hypocritical. It seems like, you know, with the Eight of Coins and this devil, you're dealing with somebody where what you see is not what you get, so be very cautious, okay? Gauge what it is that, if your intuition is telling you there's something off here, you really need to explore that. I feel you really, really need to, you know, take a step back and not rush into things head first, okay? In terms of your hopes and fears, we have the Death card. And the Death card, once again, because there is some linkages with health, I do feel that for a lot of you, old ways are being left behind. Old people are being left behind as well. And there's like a new phase happening. Or at least you are thinking about, you know, I don't want to go beat around the bush. I don't want people from my past to keep coming back. I just want a brand new, clean start. I want to go somewhere where, you know, people don't know my name, where I can restart my life and not have to deal with, you know, residual like financial issues as well. So I feel like a lot of you are in a very hopeful phase in your life where you are trying to create a new life for yourself and you are moving forward and you just want all the emotional movement to happen as well. A lot of the times we might be, you know, pretty much done with a situation and we have physically, mentally moved on, but the emotional aspect usually it's difficult to overcome. So you just want a clean break, you want a clean start, you don't want to have residual energies drawing you back in or sucking you back in every single time. A lot of you honestly are leaving one relationship for a new phase in your life. I don't feel like it's with another person. It could be, but not all the time. But what I'm feeling is you might have dealt with somebody who was quite controlling with the devil and the emperor in the reverse position. You might have been dealing with somebody that was possibly, there was lies, deceptions. You've seen through the deception and you have actively, you know, tried to leave them behind and you have moved on to a new phase in your life. There might be communication from them and they might be trying to make a comeback. So I feel that you want to be careful about who it is that you're dealing with, because I feel like manipulation. If you look at the devil, the puppet is being manipulated by the puppet master. So, you know, it is manipulation as well. So just be careful about that, okay? In terms of the outcome, we definitely have a separation coming through with the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords, usually it indicates to me, you know, like some type of a long distance relationship. It can also be a situation where one thing has to end so that something else is beginning for you, okay? So this is the way I'm reading the story. A lot of you have recently gotten out of a situation where you lived with somebody, you were married to somebody, you were like once very comfortable in an environment. And it was a very significant investment of your time, of your resources, and of your feelings, your emotions. There was definitely emotional investment in this situation. And I feel like the universe is trying to tell you, you know, you're still looking back at this situation and you're not forging ahead with new things, which is very positive. So the universe is telling you, you know, this is something that had to happen. And it was a very temporary stop in the greater scheme of your life, okay? So it's kind of like you're on the journey of life and you're taking a little bit of a stop along the way. So this was what it was. And I feel for a lot of you, you thought maybe that was the one thing that could have lasted a lifetime. But I feel like circumstantially, it didn't look to me to be too good because you were dealing with a lot of control elements, a lot of restrictions and restrictions in movement, financial restrictions as well. So you're emerging from this, and instead of, you know, moving ahead and feeling very assured, a lot of you are still looking back and pining for the past, even though the past was not favorable. So you're still dealing with residual heartache. You're still dealing with residual emotional attachments. And I feel like for a lot of you, a lot of the times too, if you were ever in a codependent relationship, you or your partner, once you separate, it's really hard to make decisions on our own without the other person. At the same time, a lot of you might have been dealing with someone in your life that has dependency issues. And I feel that you can't enable them any longer. You had to get them help, or you had to, you know, let them learn these lessons their own way. So I feel like detachment on the emotional front is happening for you. Now, on the plus side, I feel for a lot of you, there is a strong soul connection coming through. And we have the Two of Cups here. Usually when I see the Two of Cups in personal readings, or even on even concerning like some type of general reading, it usually indicates if you do astrology, the trines, I feel like sign interchange, okay? So usually when this comes up, it means like two people getting along really well together, and they can meet, you know, within 5 minutes. They feel like they've known each other a lifetime. So this is a very, very positive thing that is coming into your life, and you're going to have to decide, you know, whether or not you want to invest the time. I feel like you're going to know who this person is because it seems to me as if they make you feel at home, okay? There's a very strong connection here. Going back to what I mentioned about astrology, I feel like usually it's sign interchange. So for example, if you're a Gemini sun, they might be a Gemini moon. If you're a Gemini moon, they might be a Gemini rising. So I feel some type of sign interchange. And likewise, if you are dealing with a Scorpio, you might have Scorpio moon. So it's like a sign interchange. And I mentioned Scorpio because this card showed up in the same position for Scorpios as well. So that's why I brought it up. And just in case you were wondering, if it is a Scorpio that you're dealing with in this manner, I do feel that the relationship is not over yet. There's still some residual impact or some residual energies that need to be worked out. I also want to say that for a lot of you who are single, and or who have recently, you know, are trying to move on, you have this in front of you, okay? And you're still nursing a broken heart. And that's okay. Take the time that you need. Take the time that you need to mourn, to get over it, to heal yourself. Because this seemed to me like it was a very, very favorable situation once upon a time. And we all need to take adequate time to mourn the end of a loving bond, loving union, out of respect for what we once had. So a lot of you are not ready. You're still nursing a broken heart. You're still dealing with past hurts and disappointments, and you're not whole yourself yet. And you don't see the potential in this new things. But I would also advise you, you know, the past didn't look to me to be that great. So move ahead and try to let go of that emotional baggage. And I know that's easier said than done, but it would be in your best interest to look forward to what's coming in right around the corner. And I feel like it's literally right in front of you. Okay, so it's something that you've been searching for, and it was there the whole time. So it's right there. All right. I feel that you are going to know if it is the right person. If you ever do astrology and you look at sign interchange, there might be some sign interchange between the two of you regarding your sun, moon, rising. And then I feel like, you know, within 5 minutes of meeting them, locking eyes, you're going to know that this is going to be somebody significant in your life, because it feels like you've known them a lifetime. I feel like coincidences, like being in the same place at the same time, I feel that happening for you. So I mentioned that was with Capricorn as well for the monthly reading. Yeah, so I feel like it's one of those situations where you keep running into each other at weird moments, and then, you know, and you don't do anything about it. And after the third, fourth, fifth time, it gets a little bit awkward. So it's kind of hard to break the ice. If it happens to you like twice, you know, try to break the ice and make it less awkward, because it's bound to happen again. And then if you leave it alone for too long, it just gets awkward for both parties. So, you know, try to break the ice the first 2 times. I did mention this for Capricorn, I believe, for the monthly reading. So I don't know, maybe you might be linked up with a Capricorn or Scorpio. But I do feel that it is coming through very, very strongly. And it looks favorable to me. So, you know, just take it one day at a time. I feel like you need to do that healing first, but at the same time, don't idolize the past, and don't reminisce, and don't, you know, I feel like don't idealize it, because it wasn't, I feel like it wasn't that great. So, you know, sometimes in hindsight, once we are away from a situation, we yearn for it, we crave it, and we only remember the good times. But I feel like it's not realistic for you to only, you know, to have selective memory here. You really need to re-examine this situation in its totality in order for you to move on. So don't just dwell on the good times. Just really think about, you know, what was it that I learned from it? What was the takeaway message, so that I can better myself in the future, so that I can potentially be a better worker, a better relationship partner, a better financial manager, or something like that, so that I can carry these lessons with me and have a better future for myself. So that's the takeaway message. I feel like for a lot of you, major important decisions need to be made for this month. And I feel, first of all, it is because of the eclipse that we just had on the 8th of March, but it's also because of the spring season. The equinox brings about new beginnings. It's like, you know, the gateway, and the gateway is there, but seems to me as if you're not ready yet to walk through it, to have a new future or a new path just yet, because you're still very much bound to the past. Okay, you're bound to the comfort and the stability of the past, even though the past situation wasn't 100% positive. So just be careful about that, okay, Geminis? I feel like things will be okay for you guys. If there are health issues, you know, get checked up and make sure everything is okay for you guys, all right? Now, I wish you the best for the rest of March, and please, you know, take the time to heal if you need to, but keep your eyes forward. Keep your eyes, you know, in the right direction. Keep your eyes in the right direction, your heart in the right direction, and everything will be okay.